I love how they play together. I can see where this is going to keep me happily painting with these for some time to come. I'd like to welcome the Process Art Discovery audience to my studio. I'm Lynda Norman. I'm a watercolor artist in the beautiful Okanagan Valley in the province of British Columbia, Canada. Today, we're exploring Canada-made watercolors. Just in time for today's video, Canada-made watercolors arrived in my mailbox yesterday. I'm so excited. One of our lovely viewers, Mary Tobiatowski, sorry Mary, reminded me that Rockwell Art Supplies CA, or now it's called Global, because they're in, I think, 17 different countries. Their headquarters are in Canada, and I've had them on my list of things to explore, and thanks to Mary, I was able to order them last week. They arrived yesterday in this beautiful little box. I ordered 8 colors. There are, just wait till I open them and show you the colors, and the names of the colors are absolutely exquisite. That's part of the appeal, I think, for me, that they arrived so quickly. Well, of course, because I'm in Canada, that makes a difference as well. First thing that popped out was this little packet of Rockwell Bauhong paper samples. Bauhong is a paper that is becoming increasingly popular with artists around the world, and I've used it myself. I love it. Michael Soloviev, who is a Canadian watercolor instructor and painter, also paints with that pretty much exclusively now, I think. So I'm going to set this box aside here, and also in the box was this beautiful little eraser. How special is that? So the paper and the eraser are just a lovely little welcome gift for my order. They came in this little box. I was so excited when they arrived yesterday that I unpacked them, and so they're not in the boxes, but I just wanted to show you how they come. And on the back it says, gem grade, handmade, fine, natural, mineral watercolor, named after the world-renowned artist, Rockwell. And without letting too much of the cat out of the bag, they live up to their name. I'm so excited to share this with you. So, here they are. And I swatched some of them out yesterday just to see how they were going to work. And we'll paint with them in just a moment, but I want to share these colors with you and the names of them. This one is called Morai Witch, and it's this incredible cranberry burgundy that moves into different tones of pink, granulating, absolutely stunning color. And it's Morai Witch, M-O-R-A-I Witch, W-I-T-C-H. And this is a 15 milliliter tube. The next one that I sampled was the Onat Diamond Yellow. And it's more green when you first put it on in the thicker areas, but when it bled into the Morai Witch, into the pink and purples, you could see that yellow just gently emerging. These are the kind of paints I love. They have a life of their own, and the names kind of reflect that, I think, as you'll see. Beautiful granulating, the textures, the range of colors, I think just opens the door for, well, for me anyway. My mind has been racing since I tried them yesterday for all of the things that I'm going to explore with them. The next one is called Dragonfly, and it's a fairly dark one, quite similar to the Mayan Dark Blue that I use exclusively in my Daniel Smith palette. And it is, and not that one, it is, oh my gosh, these names are so incredible. Dragonfly. And this is a smaller tube in the 5 milliliter tube. think these smaller ones are called evolving colors, and you will quickly see why once you get to try them. I don't notice a sparkle or a sheen, although they are mineral based, but the granulation and again the flow I found was just incredible. The next color is called Cosmic Sound. How wonderful does that sound, right? Let's see which one that one is. That one is again this one. It's hard to tell by the color swatches on the tubes. So I would recommend, if you get any, to do this kind of a swatch. I like to do it this way rather than keep them all separate, because it gives me an idea of how they're going to blend together. So Cosmic Sound, and it's a beautiful, rich, deep blue, but it morphs into shades of grays and purples. More on the violet gray purple side rather than the pinky purple side, but absolutely gorgeous. The next one is called Yellow Moss. Again, a bit more green than yellow, but you can see the pigmentation there, and how when it met with the blue in the Cosmic Sound, it kind of just diffused into this soft, mellow, organic bit of yellow, which is so beautiful. The next one, pardon me, that I used is called Harvest Oracle. Now, how cool does that sound? Much more of an amethyst kind of purple. Granulation was phenomenal, and again, it bled quite nicely, blended into the yellow moss. Then we have Wild Iris, a lighter blue, almost a cobalty kind of blue in the base of it, with pink undertones. So when it blended with more water, the more pink tones showed out beautifully. They just appear very magical. And finally, the last one I chose was called Elf Wings, and it is I don't even know how to describe this. It's just incredible. There's a pinky brown, a bit of taupe. It blended in with the Wild Iris, with the pinks and the browns, like they were made to be together. It was just absolutely amazing. So I'm excited, over the course of the next few weeks to try them in different combinations and see where they take us. Yeah, I'm thrilled, and they're Canada made. Does it get any better? This is a painting that I did last night with them. Just testing out the colors, a bit of the Morai Witch in here just to add the highlight of the purple. I tried to use all of the colors. I think the only one I didn't use was the Elf Wings in this particular painting, but we'll move on to that in a moment. I just really appreciate how they come together. They work together. For me, it's intuitively placing some water and some pigment and allowing them to work together. And as a landscape artist, I couldn't ask for more. So I just quickly want to let you have a look here. This is a larger piece of the Bao paper, some that I had in stock. And so I thought I would try something on here. And I just would like to have you see how the colors move, especially in some of the techniques that we've talked about to this point, the vignette style and the loose watercolors and that kind of thing. So I thought what I would like to do is, I'm going to just pick maybe 3 of the colors just to see how well they blend together. And dragonfly, I mean, I'm a dragonfly person. My door knockers on my back door are dragonflies, and my closet handles are dragonflies, and I just love them. I have them around me wherever I can. So I'm going to start with dragonfly. Let's see where that is right here. This is, I don't have another empty palette at the moment. I'm going to order another one from another eco palette from Michael Solavia's Watercolor Online store. But until that arrives, I'm just going to use this. And this is the back of photo paper. It's non-porous, and it's going to give me a little bit of a flat surface to put the paints on and work with. So there's a bit of Dragonfly, which is the dark blue. I like the Harvest Oracle, which is the purple. Let's try that one. That's Cosmic Sound. This one is Harvest Oracle. I'm getting to know that, whoops, the colors, by the look of the paint or the design on the tube, so that's helping a little bit. And then I think for fun, the yellow moss sounds like something that would be something to brighten things up a little bit. We might even go in and add just a little bit of elf wing, or maybe even the Morai Witch, just to see how things go. All right. I just love the look of the tubes too. They're just, they're pretty. And I think if you've got pretty things, nice things to work with, it makes it sometimes that much more fun and enjoyable. One of the fun things that we have done in the past is the vignettes. So I'm going to just spatter my paper slightly with some water drops. This is again the bottle that I use for vignettes for spattering. It's a simple craft store, dollar store bottle. It has an adjustable nozzle on it. And for the spatter, you want it to be as low as possible, and you squeeze gently just so that the water comes sort of cascading out and plops on the paper, basically. If I was to put a fine mist, then my colors wouldn't stay separated the way I like to have them for this process. So I can see lots of dots on the page. And I want a fairly thick bit of paint on my brush, so I'm going straight into that dollop of Dragonfly. Just load it on the tip of my Lebanson goat hair brush. And I'm just touching that in to the water drops. I have to sit back a little bit and sort of see where they are on my page. And I love that they're dissipating and moving around. I probably could have used a few more water drops on that part of the page, but that's all right. That is all right. And if I use the side of my brush, as I like to do often, you can see how it just sort of plays really nicely with that water. So that was the Dragonfly. We're going to put a purple tree next to it, and this is the Harvest Oracle. And let's try this tree just sort of down here. Oh my goodness, look at that, how it has just taken to the water and moved out like it knows what it wants to do. Probably, again, like I said, could have been a little more generous with the water splats, but that's okay. We can move this out a little bit. And let's see how this one comes with. Oh, that is just... This is making my day. I just love this. You can see the granulation, how it's flowing with the water on the page. And let's try another tree in the beautiful yellow moss. And we'll give this one a little home right here. It's gorgeous that it can give you that dark, deep, mossy kind of green, but it also can diffuse, and we'll see that probably here when we move this out a little bit, into a lighter tone. And I just want to bring some of this over into that Dragonfly. And you can see here where they're coming together and working with each other, pushing pigment away and giving that beautiful shadowed effect. Let's bring a little bit of that mossy yellow up into the Harvest Oracle. And I think I just want to see how that Harvest Oracle is going to work. On this side, it's a bit drier, and I just want to, on the side of my brush, pull that down. And it's blending with the yellow moss to provide some incredibly gorgeous gray tones. You know, in watercolor, you don't have to mix, or you don't have to mix. It's nicer to mix your grays and your darks for your shadows with the pigments that you're already using in your painting, rather than buy pre-mixed grays and blacks. Technically, black is not used was never used in the past in watercolor, they say, if you're a purist. And Lorenz and I talked about that earlier today, where whites and blacks are not typically part of a watercolor palette. That to me is a personal choice. You can do whatever you want. There are all kinds of options nowadays with the pigments, things that are available in terms of product. I'm just going to add some more of the purple into the side here, into some water, and then we'll just bring some tree shapes just to fill in a little bit. I can still see some water drops there. That's to me, they're just crying out for a little bit of pigment in them, so we'll just add some of that in. When I do a vignette, I don't very often spray once I've started adding pigment, just because it's hard to control that sometimes, and you don't want that blending and colors to sometimes move around. Here's where the Harvest Oracle has kind of touched a large bit of water. I'm going to add some of the yellow moss on the one side of it and allow those two to blend and come together. And if you add just a bit more pigment here and there for some shape. And I think I want to just, because that dragonfly is kind of lost with all the purples and the moss, I just want to add a bit more of that blue lightly in the background, just to fill in a bit there. And we'll bring that down a tiny bit. Fill in a tiny, and I can see where my yellow moss tree is kind of needing a bit of fullness at the bottom. I like to put dark under my trees just to indicate shadow. And we'll bring that up a tiny bit there. I don't mind that there's a bit of white left. And because that blue is so gorgeous, I'm just going to add a bit of a hint of a sky. I don't always put skies in my vignettes, but this one I think is allowing a bit of room for that to happen. And we'll just put some hints of some clouds in there. A little bit darker here and there for some undersides of some clouds. And a few blots out of that area. If you wanted to carry that through to make it a little more cohesive, you can certainly do that. This is just a quick demo study. Then the other thing I want to try, because it's something that I do a lot of, is carving out rocks with my little piece of plastic. So I want to see how that's going to go. And I usually wait for that to happen, to do that, until the pigments on the page have had a chance to sort of adhere to that paper, sink in a tiny bit, because I do want some pigment in the background, and then I'm going to clear off some of the pigment to make some shapes. And I can move that around. It's still a bit wet, I think, but you can see where it will move, and you can sort of shape and push those pigments around a little bit. We'll make this a bit of a higher rocky piece there. And if you tip it up, if there's enough moisture, it will continue to run down onto the page. I've made a bit of an unusual shape there. I just want to add a bit more rocky bits. And then I'm going to move this up. Because there's still a lot of pigment and moisture on the page, I can actually shape that and move that with the edge of the plastic. So that's given me some, a little bit of a background there. And you could throw in a few examples of a couple of trees in the background there if you wanted to as well. But I love how they play together. I can see where this is going to keep me happily painting with these for some time to come. It lifts off. And that's the only other thing I would want to give a quick try to, is to how they come away. Because often, as I say, it's what you take away that that makes an interest in your painting. So damp brush, chiseled edge. Yep, it pulls, the purple pulls away nicely, the blue pulls away nicely. You can get some lines in there. The yellow is a bit more staining, and I'm not surprised by that, like yellows often are. But I think if you persevered, and once it was possibly a bit drier, there you go. See, that's coming off a little bit more. It's not going to come back to a complete stark white of the paper, but it is going to lighten up, and that's kind of nice that it's soft like that, and you can work with that quite easily. So, Rockwell paints, you have my vote. I love these. Like I said, I'm excited to work more with them. You'll probably see more videos to come with using the other colors, and I hope that you try them if you get a chance. Let me know how you enjoy them. I'd like to thank the Process Art Discovery audience for joining me today. We tested out some amazing Canada-made Rockwell paints, watercolors. Can't say enough about them. They'll be a permanent part of my studio from now on. And if you try them, let us know. If you like what you've seen, head on over to the channel, subscribe, visit their website, or hang out in the membership area and see what's happening there.